And we're live. And I'm back. I'm back from Ohio and I'm going live just in time for everybody to be asleep, I assume. It's 9:49 Nashville time. Got back this morning, or actually about 1 o'clock today. I left Ohio last night at around 8. And then I went to Louisville. I got there about 11:30 and got up this morning and drove to Nashville. And here I am. And we recorded our podcast number 289, the Ohio 70.3 recap. It is now uploaded. I am Mike, co-host of the Crushing Iron podcast, 289 podcasts. We really appreciate all the listeners. It is good to be back. And we had a good time up at Ohio. And anyway, so we recorded the podcast at 1 o'clock Central. Spent some time putting that together. By the time I got done, my lawn was about 2 feet high, so I went out and trudged through that. And then when I hadn't had a workout. I didn't work out yesterday during the race because we walk. I don't know. I didn't have the steps on, but man, we were up at 5. Well, we left the hotel at 5. We got to the race site about 5:30, and walked pretty much until 4 in the afternoon in the hot sun. So I figured that was those are the days where you just have to understand how good, how big of a training day that is. And you can tell, like, I was really, really wiped out. And we got back to the hotel last night about 4 o'clock and 4:30, I guess. And we were going to dinner at 5. I laid down for like 2 minutes. And maybe went at 6. I don't know. I fell asleep for like 2 minutes and went to dinner. I was really tired. The plan was to stay in the hotel and get up at, like Robbie did, at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. I should say. And he actually left the hotel at something like 4 or 3:30 in the morning and drove all the way to Chattanooga, which is a bigger man than me. So I left it. Anyway, we got back from dinner and I was going to crash for a while, but I knew I wouldn't sleep because I was kind of wired. So I ended up driving to Louisville last night, and I got there about 11:30. Stayed with a friend of mine and her husband. Always love it. They were taking care of Maddie, and I felt fine on the drive, and I got down there. I was just out. It was like the first good night's sleep I've had in a long time, which is really interesting because I didn't sleep the night before. But anyway, the point being is I'm training for Ironman Wisconsin. This will be my 3rd time doing it. And a lot of people have gotten a hold of me. This is kind of a weird little thing. I just kind of ramble about my training. And it's not that I feel, like I know anything special, but sometimes when you talk about the training, it helps you understand it. And you kind of, I guess a lot of other people seem to be getting something out of it, especially first timers. But I suppose that even if you're a veteran, you might, hear some things that you might think about, or you're just kind of, checking in on me, seeing how I'm doing, checking in. Anyway, the point being is I did the lawn, and then at 5 o'clock I was like, okay, am I going for a bike? And my legs are just, I don't know, all that driving and that walking yesterday, I just felt like it was going to be counterproductive to even go for a bike ride because I ran a lot in Ohio. So I've been really wanting to get back on the bike. Today I wanted to get back early, and I thought the bike was going to be the answer, but it turned out that I decided to swim. And maybe here I'm a little bit clogged up because that's what happens. And I don't go downtown. That's where I swim, downtown Nashville at the Y. I don't go anywhere near downtown around rush hour. So I ended up having some dinner, getting some fuel, relaxing a little bit, doing a few other things. And I went down to the pool about 7:30. And it's kind of a late time to get to the pool. They close at 8:45, but I didn't know what I was going to do. I just thought, we often drop in these swims that say 2,000 to make you feel good, 2,000 swim that makes you feel good. And for some reason I said, I'm doing an Ironman, so I'm going to do 3,000 that makes me feel good. And I did it, but I broke it up into 500s. But the goal was go easy the first 500, and then for the 4 in the middle, go easy and then go strong the last 150. And kind of the goal overall was to sort of have them descend in time um, as 500s. And I kind of got there. I was pretty much in the ballpark. This first one was slowest, and then the next three, four were about the same time, give or take a second or two, average 100 meters. And then the last one was pretty solid as a cool down. So 3,000, that's about I think that might be the longest I've swam in a while. So I felt really good that I got that out of the way. And, I was probably taking 30 to 45 seconds between 500. So I just, now I have to do distance with, when I do distance. So like I said, I try to always negative split stuff. I always try to end strong in the sets. And I'm not like totally floating around in there. I'm kind of working at it. And as I get, and that's the thing is, like, after that first 500, I know what I was going to say. I noticed today the first 500, as I was purposely just really, really trying to go slow and just let my body warm up and stuff like that. As the slower I went and the slower my stroke rate was, I felt like by the end of that first 500, I really was getting a nice feel for the water. And then that sort of carried through the rest of the swim. So I wondered, my thought process was, if you go out, like, 'cause typically we go out too fast in the swim and we probably have a high turnover. And I wonder if that jeopardizes possibly your ability to get a nice feel for the water and consequently get good catches as you're going. Like if you're really flailing at the beginning and kind of not trying to stay in the pocket, and you get out of yourself, you're probably just, because I don't know, there's something about really going slow that you just sort of like feel that wall that you're pulling back. And that, of course, is the biggest thing in swimming. And then, of course, the other key on that level is to not go too deep, because that even feels like more of a wall. But so as you're going slow, just kind of keep that elbow right around the surface as best you can. I mean, it's probably more going to be right in here, but I always try to keep it up here and not pull with my shoulder, but be pulling with the lats. And then, so that's the sort of thing I'm thinking about, is just keeping that high elbow and keeping a good flow or feel for the water, and having it be in sync, the whole thing. Not like reach out, pull back with this hand, and then reach out and pull back with this hand. It's just more of it's kind of a working together. Robbie used to call it being on a rivet. It probably still does call it that, but anyway, so that's the swim theory for the night. And I felt really good getting out of there. I hit the sauna, and I got to tell you, downtown Y, 9 o'clock on any night probably wasn't bad, but it's probably not the best time to go to the sauna, if you know what I'm saying. And then I took a cold shower following, and I feel pretty good. But mainly it was just like, all right, I knew I was wiped out, and I'm not going to go out today just because I missed a couple days of cycling and swimming. I'm not going to go out and just like punish myself for that. I wanted to just allow my body to get back in a groove, and I certainly didn't want to do anything with my legs because they're just kind of fried. They have like pains and hip flexor pains and hamstring things. So I want to get that back because I had a crappy run on Saturday up there. So I'm gonna give them a couple more days. I might hit the bike tomorrow, and I might get the pool again. I'm gonna try and maybe string some pool days together, shorter. Get the rhythm. It's all about rhythm. How do we make this stuff easier? So I see a couple people dropped out. They probably don't like what's going on here. And what else was I going to say about this? Ohio it was great, man. We talked a lot about it on the podcast, obviously. And I took a bunch of photos, maybe like 1,500 photos. I normally take a lot of video and put that together as a piece, but I wanted to get some pictures of our athletes that they could keep, because, it's a good memory. And a lot of them turned out really good. I'm excited to share them. And there's also a lot for people that I don't know who they are. And I'm going to try to figure out a way to post those up as just kind of like a, hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. Here's a picture of yourself looking beautiful. But anyway, what else? Like I said, tomorrow I'm going to get back on the bike. I'm going to probably approach it the same way because I plan to maybe throw down on the bike on Thursday. So I'm going to kind of wake my legs back up to cycling, give it a little bit of a push, maybe go a couple hours, nothing too hard, but maybe some efforts, maybe some hills. And then Thursday, I think because I'm going to be in Chattanooga this weekend. So this weekend's screwed up. Not in a bad way with what's going on, but like it's going to be tough to get in a long ride. So I'm going to try and do that Thursday and hopefully not lose a lot of what I got going. And, I noticed 41 days. I've been losing track. I thought yesterday was 46 or Sunday or Saturday was 46, but it's not. It's 41. So it's going quicker. It's just like the dominoes just start falling over faster as we get closer. So I'm at a point where I want to build my swim distance endurance. I think I'm more interested in creating more bike speed, explosiveness stuff. And then I'm going to probably at least probably three more pretty long runs and maybe split them up in the day and, get up around that 17-mile mark, 17, 18 between two different runs. Probably do that at least twice. And then head to Madison. So that's that. It's getting late. I know you're tired. I'm tired. I'm trying to get some sleep and get back on the regular schedule. Thanks for checking in. Check out our podcast, Crushing Iron Podcast. It's every Monday and Thursday. iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that stuff. So we appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow. Back in a groove.